Taiwan is stepping up its pandemic measures after a huge surge in COVID-19 cases. The island had done well to shut out the pandemic until now, but has only vaccinated less than 1% of its population. Seoul correspondent Carrington Clark has more.
Like Australia, Taiwan is an island and it's managed to basically put up the walls throughout this pandemic. And for all intents and purposes, throughout the last year, they haven't had the virus circulating. The issue is those borders have now been breached. It's being blamed on a change in quarantine program that occurred in April, where they allowed flight crews to quarantine for just 3 days. It looks like that change has allowed the virus to get in particular the fast-moving British variant. It was then circulating unbeknownst to the wider public for at least a month, potentially longer, and now it appears that it's seeded itself throughout the community. The country has been caught short in its vaccination program. It's been very slow to get going, just like here in South Korea and in Japan. Despite East Asia doing really well in containing the virus, they are being criticised for their slow rollout of the vaccine, and that very much seems to be linked to the fact that they maybe were a bit complacent because they just didn't have the virus circulating the numbers that we saw in, say, North America and Europe. They're now desperately trying to get access to more vaccine. They actually don't have enough in the ground. Yesterday, Taiwan did receive a larger shipment, about 500,000 doses have apparently arrived in the country, but there's also just complacency among the population, or at least I should say there was. There now seems to be a desperation on behalf of many of the public to try to get their hands on these precious vaccines, but they just don't have the systems in place, and they're actually having to further restrict the vaccine because they just don't have the doses available, even though they have been available for the last few weeks. And now they are going through quite intense lockdowns. Taiwan is suggesting that if they continue to see the rate of new cases found, at the moment they had about over 250 cases found yesterday. They get 100 new cases per day for 14 days, and half of those cases the origin isn't able to be established, then they will go into a full nation lockdown.